week one of NFL action has nearly concluded. We've got the Monday night game tonight, but as far as the Tennessee Titans go, they have played their first regular season game. They lose to the New York Giants 21-0, starting their season 0-1 in what I considered to be one of their more winnable games on the schedule this year. So, a lot of people say, well, you know what? It's the first week. It's just one game. There's 16 games to go. So much can happen. There's sloppiness that goes on in week one that doesn't go on any other time. And I understand that. I agree completely. Week one, you can't ever put too much stock into anything that happens in week one most of the time. But I gotta say this. I'm concerned because I saw some things yesterday that were just a continuation of bad things that I saw last year, particularly from the offensive coordinator and with some of the play calling. Just not just play calling, but personnel that you've got in the game in key moments. I don't get it. It's nonsensical, some of the things that we're doing on offense. Why did you trade for Robert Woods if he's only going to play like 25% of the snaps? Why even bother? Why bring in Austin Hooper? Why go draft Treylon Burks with your first round draft pick and then not have him in, who does that? If the Bengals need a big play, you better believe Jamar Chase is going to be in the game. If the Vikings need a big play, you better believe Justin Jefferson's going to be in the game. Now, do I believe we have somebody of that level on this receiving corps? Probably not, because those guys are like the class of the NFL. But you have to, you cannot sit there and put in Jeff Swaim and Cody Hollister and then wonder why we can't get anybody open, while Robert Woods and Treylon Burks and all these guys are standing on the sideline. And last season, I said this same thing. Stop. My dog's going crazy out there. Last season, I said this same thing about Julio Jones. And I know he was hurt a lot, and it was annoying, and it was aggravating, kind of like what my dog's doing right now is annoying me very bad. The Julio injuries last year were annoying. But at the same time, when he was healthy, at least somewhat healthy, I used to sit there and just be like, why is he not in the game? Why? Last year, there were instances where it would be a big moment in the game, and A.J. Brown and Julio are on the sideline. Why? This makes no sense. You don't even have to be that intelligent of a football mind to know your playmakers need to be in the game. The guy that you chose in the first round of the draft to come in and essentially replace A.J. Brown, he needs to be in the game. He did some good stuff yesterday. Why is he not in the game? You made a big trade for Robert Woods. Why would he not be in the game? It's baffling to me. And it was a reason why they lost yesterday. Why are we wasting our time dinking and dunking to Jeff Swaim? God bless Jeff Swaim. I'm not saying he shouldn't be on the team, but he's the third best tight end. And I haven't even gotten to the play calling yet. The 3rd and 1, and you're going to do the end around with the rookie tight end? Or with anybody for that matter. What? That's one of the stupidest play calls I've ever seen. And think about the ground that covers. That was idiotic. What are we doing? Look at the third downs that the Titans managed to not convert yesterday. 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 1s. These are short yardage. This is what you want. If you get to 3rd down, you want it to be 3rd and short. And that's what the Titans were faced with yesterday, and they couldn't convert it. They've got Derrick Henry on the team, and they can't convert a 3rd and 1 multiple times, 3rd and 2. If only we had a big tight end that we could throw to. Oh, wait, we brought in Austin Hooper for that very reason, and most of the time he's not even in the game. Am I the only one here? I am baffled, and I know People say it's such a cliche thing to blame the play calling. It's not just the play calling. There were missed opportunities yesterday. You know, Christian Fulton, I haven't even started in on the defense. Christian Fulton staring into the backfield while the receiver runs down the field. We can't stop Saquon Barkley, who hasn't been relevant in 4 years. The run defense was abysmal. From a defense that was normally pretty good at that, Jeff Simmons was a madman. He was great. But, man, there was a lot of these, defensive guys that, especially in the second half of this game, left a lot to be desired, making Saquon Barkley look like a rookie again. But ultimately, most of my concern lies with this offense and the play calling and the personnel. I mean, what are we doing? There was no excuse to lose this game. Absolutely no excuse. This is inexcusable to lose this game. I don't care if it's week 1, because now you got to go to Buffalo on Monday Night Football against one of the best teams in the league. Well, what are we going to do then? Oh, are we going to try and go out there? And do you understand they called this Cody Hollister guy up from the practice squad? And God bless him, I'm sure he's a great guy. You call him up to put him on the team. Normally, teams do not call up guys from the practice squad and then put them in for most of the game. But the Titans do. Like, oh, let's get Cody Hollister and let's just keep putting him in the game. If he's good enough to be in most of the game like he was yesterday, then why is he on the practice squad and not on the starting 53? I feel like I'm losing my mind watching this. Like, there was no excuse. And even with all of that, even with the play calling, why are we running a Wildcat on 3rd and 1? I mean, Henry shouldn't have dropped the snap, but why even bother doing it? Anyway, even with all of that, we were in position to win the game at the end. Tannehill made a nice throw, and Tannehill, I thought, played pretty well. I thought he played pretty well, considering he made the great throw to Kyle Phillips, who also, with the exception of making a couple mistakes, he played really well as well, one of the bright spots for them. They got down there in position to win the game with the field goal as time expired, and their kicker missed the kick. Where have you heard this story before? The Titans kicker misses the kick that would have won the game. The sky is blue, the grass is green, and the Titans kicker can't make a kick. You know, a lot of people, including Derrick Henry, said, you know what, it shouldn't have even come down to that. It shouldn't have even come down to that. And I get that. There were things the Titans should have done in that game to make it to where they didn't even have to go down there and kick that field goal. But the fact of the matter is this. So many times in the NFL, that's exactly what it comes down to. Somebody's got to go down there and score at the end, whether that means getting in position to kick the field goal or scoring a touchdown. That's what it comes down to in the NFL so many times. Nobody plays a perfect game. Mistakes are made. And at the end, you got to go down there and you got to make a field goal. You got to score a touchdown to win at the end. And the Titans got down there and their kicker missed a kick. But what are we doing? Wasting our time out with 18 seconds to go. Our one timeout we had left. So now we can't even get closer for the guy. Just stupid blunders that cost them the game yesterday. In the NFL especially, if you let a team hang around, I don't care who they are. I don't care if you think they're the worst team in the league with the worst quarterback in the league, which the Giants may very well have the worst quarterback in the league. But it doesn't matter who you're playing. If you let them hang around like a hare and a biscuit, shut up. If you let them hang around like a hare and a biscuit, it's going to cost you. And it cost the Titans yesterday. And I know it's only week 1, but that's a terrible way to start the season. Because the last time I saw the Titans on their field was in a playoff game against Cincinnati, and it was the most painful loss I've ever witnessed as a fan. And I would have loved to have gotten that taste out of my mouth finally yesterday. Shut up. I would have loved to have gotten that taste out of my mouth yesterday. Finally, week 1 of a new season. But it's just more of the same stuff. And I hope it gets better. But until we get a new offensive coordinator, my hopes are not very high right now. Let me know what you think. Bye, everybody.